David Menzies for Rebel News here at BMO Field in Toronto. And folks, the reason we're here is that this stadium will be hosting 6 World Cup games next summer in Toronto. That is why you see the construction going on. The city has to bring the stadium up to FIFA requirements in terms of seating capacity. Now, for those who support Toronto hosting World Cup games, they point to the economic impact on the city. FIFA claims the games will result in a $3.8 billion impact overall for Canada. I would suggest you take those stats with a shovelful of salt. Meanwhile, Toronto is supposed to have a positive economic input of approximately $460 million in labor alone. And that brings me back to the construction here at BMO Field, because you see, a worker working on the project recently reached out to us on the tips line, and this is what he said, quote, "I'm working on BMO Field in Toronto. The company doing the work is busing illegal Mexicans in to take jobs from Canadians. This was supposed to provide Canadians with jobs, and now vans of these Mexicans are coming in," end quote. So could this possibly be true? Are there actually illegal aliens working on World Cup construction here at BMO Field in Toronto? We're certainly going to find out if that is indeed the case. And so it is. This is why we are visiting the site, to see if this is true. That are there actually illegal aliens taking jobs away from Canadian tax-paying citizens? It's incredible. Then again, another question arises: are these foreign workers illegal, or are they being permitted to work on this project? I speak of last month, Lena Metlej-Diab, the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, issued a media release. It was headlined as follows, quote, "Temporary public policy to exempt select FIFA-invited foreign nationals from work authorization requirements," end quote. And then the release goes on with all these platitudes that it's going to be a historic moment for Canadian soccer. And really, with the economy the way it is, with unemployment the way it is, why are we making this exemption, especially with hundreds of millions of Canadian tax dollars going into the stadiums here in Toronto and the event in Vancouver, which will also be hosting World Cup games. And folks, not only is this outrageous, but it seems to be a continuation of an egregious trend. And I speak of that collaboration between Stellantis and LG in Windsor, Ontario. That is the site of that taxpayer subsidized electronic battery plant. And yet there are 1,600 Korean nationals working in Windsor. And consider, right now, Windsor has record unemployment, 11.2% last time I checked. So again, the question arises, why are taxpayer dollars funding foreign jobs? Well, we're going to wander around the stadium, see if we can talk to some construction workers, see if there are indeed foreign nationals, if there are indeed illegal aliens, as our tipster claims. So here, let's check it out.
You know what, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
So I don't want to comment on that.
I understand.
So I'm not really prepared to comment on it.
Okay. Would there be anyone in charge, maybe a foreman perhaps, that could speak to us?
If there is, I'll let them know and I'll send them out.
Some of the workers, they're under a gag order. But an interesting thing, we did speak to one worker off camera, and he said we should return at 7 in the morning. That's when the Carpenters Union, Local 27, I believe, is out here at BMO Field, and they picket for about 3 hours and then leave. So obviously there is some consternation in terms of who's getting these jobs. He also told me he thought that in the city of Toronto, and I think he's right about this, to work on any project, you have to be part of a union. But it would seem that the exemption that the federal minister is giving FIFA foreign nationals trumps that proviso. We'll reach out to the city as well and find out if that is indeed the case. As you can see, they are tearing out seats, but I thought the whole idea of the project was to add seats. Yet another interesting aspect about the ongoing renovation at BMO Field, which, by the way, will not be called BMO Field while the World Cup is here. It'll be known as Toronto Stadium. I guess the Bank of Montreal couldn't afford the naming rights. So we're doing a story about foreign workers that are employed on this project.
You can reach out to the arena. We don't talk.
Reach out to who, sorry?
You can reach out to them who are doing the construction.
To the workers? So I can go here?
No, not here.
I can.
You can reach out to the BMO, but we don't speak on behalf of it.
Okay, who do I reach out to? I'm
To
confused.
the BMO security or anybody, you can reach out to them.
I reach out to BMO, the Bank of Montreal?
I'm not sure. You can talk to who's responsible. We don't talk on behalf of anyone.
Okay, all right. Can any of these workers come on camera?
I'm not sure.
Okay. You're not a foreign worker yourself, are you?
I don't want to answer any questions.
Okay. Now, I did reach out to the City of Toronto for clarity regarding what percentage of the workforce at BMO Field is comprised of foreign workers. I received a statement from Genevieve Sharkey, the city's chief procurement officer. It reads in part as follows, quote, "The City of Toronto's renovation work at BMO Field is being carried out by Arena Construction, which is responsible for all project hiring and subcontracting. Arena engages specialized subcontractors based on expertise and project requirements. All contractors and subcontractors working on city-funded components are vetted by the city's Fair Wage Office and must comply with the city's fair wage policy and labor-related collective agreement obligations. The city's procurement requirements, including the fair wage policy, do not require contractors to disclose workers' personal immigration or citizenship information. Contractor obligations focus on compliance with labor standards, workplace safety, and wage requirements as outlined in the city's procurement policies," end quote. So it would seem that the city really doesn't care what the immigration status is of workers employed, even on city-funded projects. Then again, perhaps this should not come as a surprise whatsoever. After all, for more than a decade, Toronto has existed as a sanctuary city. This means that illegal aliens are entitled to a vast array of city-funded programs ranging from healthcare and housing to emergency aid. City employees are required to adhere to a don't ask, don't tell policy when it comes to the immigration status of people living in Hogtown. And apparently this sanctuary city philosophy has extended to workers now receiving well-paying city jobs at the expense of those who have lived here all their lives and have dutifully paid their taxes. In the final analysis, the official slogan of Toronto is, quote, "Diversity is our strength," end quote. You know, I suggest we rebrand this motto. How does this sound? Welcome to Toronto, where we enrich the takers and penalize the makers. Hey folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, but the fact is we need your help. Unlike the mainstream media trained seals, we do not receive a single nickel of Mark Carney's journalism slush fund. So can you help me out here? Can you go to rebelfieldreports.com? That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation.